Well, Halloween is one of the most beloved holidays of the year, but it can also come with plenty of risks. Long costumes can cause kids to trip and fall. Drivers need to be mindful of trick-or-treaters. Even if you stay inside for a Halloween party, there are risks to be aware of. Mike Schnapper is joining us from the Rockford Fire Department to share what we need to know before the holiday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Maria.
Now, Halloween is obviously a very fun holiday, but safety is the top priority. Now, we're going to touch a little bit on decorations first because with outdoor decorations, there's a lot more traffic with the kids coming up to your front door grabbing candy. What can we do and what decorations should we avoid to be safe?
Well, I love Halloween. It's a great holiday. One of the things that my family does, we make sure we're decorating pumpkins. That's awesome. It's a great tradition. We want to make sure, though, that we're getting away from the traditional candles. The problem is candles are a fire hazard. As Joey was just hitting on, we do have these increased fire risk with the wind, with the drought, and things like that. So even no matter what, if you have an open flame source, it's a risk. It's a source of ignition. So we want to make sure instead we use those battery-powered candles. You get the exact same effect, no fire risk. That's just a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely, there you go. Well, when it comes to trick-or-treating, obviously there's a lot of kids out. What is the best way to be safe? Obviously staying in groups, paying attention to your surroundings. What are a couple more tips that kids can use to be safe this Halloween?
Yeah, definitely stay in groups. Wear brightly some sort of reflective clothing if you can. I understand that takes away from some of the costumes, but it's better to be safe. On top of that, make sure if you do have to walk in a street, if you're in an area without sidewalks, you are walking facing traffic. And then of course, your usual only eat factory sealed candy, don't, and then check everything before you bite into it.
Absolutely. So what safety tips should parents know when they take their kids trick-or-treating this Halloween?
Make sure if your kids are, of your younger ages, you're accompanied. The other thing is stick to the hours that are assigned in your particular neighborhood. If it's 5 to 7, trick-or-treat from 5 to 7. That way the people who are there are aware of it. Hopefully people are driving. I know some communities will actually close off their areas during those times. And that's going to be the safest spot. Once it starts to get a little bit darker, probably time to bring the kids in.
Right, and we've been telling you guys all week about the different time zones for those kids to go out trick-or-treating. Now, what particular costumes should kids avoid? Obviously wear something bright so you're seen, but what are some costumes that could cause safety hazards? Really,
again, any of your darkest costumes, something that's devoid of any bright color is going to be a concern because even sometimes in well-lit areas or any costume is going to have you blend in with stuff around you. It's going to present a problem for drivers, and that's the number one thing that we want to avoid is people getting hit by cars. For
sure. So we do have trick-or-treating on Halloween, but for those people staying indoors who like to throw some Halloween parties, what are some safety tips you could give them?
Have fun, but be smart about it. Make sure if you decide to go, imbibe in some things that you have a ride home worked out, and then make sure you don't overdo any of that kind of stuff and turn in when you're supposed to.
Great tips. Well, we always appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks again for joining us. Coming up, we'll have another look at your forecast and your top stories. Stay tuned.